Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Trevor Plouffe is on the left coast. I'm on the east coast. We're within 2 weeks of the deadline. We're talking ball and we're talking a little life today. Therapy for Yankee fans.
Use me on the immaculate grid.
I used them. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Some immaculate grid off the rip. Yesterday was Vinny Rotino Day. That was fun. Little Brewers fish, I believe. Warehouse legend Vinny Rotino. What's going on, everybody? Yankee fans, my God. Everyone else, please dance on us. It's tough, and we will, Trev, and we will. And it's all brought to you by SeatGeek. Today's episode is sponsored by SeatGeek, presenting sponsor, Talkin' Baseball. Go out and watch your team. Maybe it's the last time your team looks like this. Maybe there's going to be a new body in right field. Maybe there's going to be a new guy on the mound. Or maybe your favorite player is getting traded, so you might want to watch them one last time before the deadline. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. It's so easy, a Jake can use it. Green means good. Red means not as good. They have 70,000 events each day. Blows my mind, doesn't make sense. But with code TALKIN, you will get $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. $20 off your first purchase with promo code TALKIN. Click the link in the description. Trevor Plouffe in Seattle.
You said it'll be a nude guy on the mound?
There might be. We haven't seen.
Well, yeah.
We haven't seen enough of that. Unbutton a couple.
You want to go
of those.
viral?
Yeah, we're trying to make baseball hot in the streets, which it is. Speaking of viral, you see Cole Tucker this morning. Trev, how are you?
I'm doing well. Yes, I'm in Seattle covering the Twins. It's been a nice start to the break for that organization. I don't know how it is for you guys there in New York. I did see the Kotek catch. I did text him about it. He's obviously stoked because that's how he lives his life. I have a ball here, which is, I forgot I had this.
Show ball? Yeah.
So I'm happy now that I get to mess around with this during the episode. And for everyone listening, Jake, BBD, and I, before the show, kind of switched gears here a little bit. We thought it'd be fun to just kind of do a Just Talking episode. Talk about some topics and, really get into it. Simulation talk might happen. I'm assuming it's episode 6090, which is interesting. But I think that we're going to land in a good place. I'm always happy to chop it up with the boys. What's going on in New York right now? It's getting hot. You guys are getting a little crazy. Summer in the city, get some emotions going.
Summer in the city is good unless you follow either of the baseball teams. Had a friend's B-Day dinner. A little Grateful Dead cover band there, Trev. Vibes are high. A little coursed meal, BYOB, couple bottles of white. And then watch the Yankees get 2 hit again. So, I don't know, man. It's really bad. You've seen our social team literally losing their mind on the internet. Probably going to get me and Jimmy in trouble very soon. And yeah, dude, it's tough. I know there will be some team talk and we'll hop around and, stand pat, trade everyone. Stand pat is rarely the answer. But man, I don't know. I don't know. For some of these teams that are around 500 or have losing records, it's a really weird time to be a GM. I don't know. I don't have the answers because, Trev, whenever we do our warehouse stuff or whenever I compete in anything, I want to win. I think I don't enter the hardo area, but if we're doing something, if we're going to compete, I want to win. And for me, it's such a weird feeling to be a GM and look at another season. And GMs, what's the average GM career is 4 years, something like that? Not even. That if I'm having my opportunity to go, I want to hit that go button so hard, but I know I also could be screwing myself and the team for 5 more years, and then that's your reputation, and then it's over. So I don't know, man. Did you ever have any like good exchanges with a GM?
As far as like trade deadline stuff, or just
Well,
in
I mean,
general?
we know about your airplane. You've been traded. We hate you. Was that
That's not
Tampa?
what happened.
Tampa to Oakland. How did that happen? Oakland to Tampa. Matt Chapman was hot.
We were flying back from Miami.
Yes.
And yes, I received word from Matt Chapman himself saying, "Hey, man, I can't wait to be your teammate, all this stuff." And I said, "Well, you're coming up. Okay.
Wait,
I'm
if
very
you're
proud of
coming
you.
up,
I'm out." Actually, we were just in Oakland, the Twins and I, and their radio guy, who they stepping in and they'll do some TV broadcasts with Dallas Braden as well, as they're kind of searching for a new main guy there. He told that story on the air because he remembers the fact that I went on the plane and shook everyone's hand and thanked them. Very classy of me.
yes.
It's interesting. I'm actually going to have Justin Morneau on Baseball Today after this, and one of the questions I'm going to ask him is, you know, in a clubhouse, he was on a lot of teams that were, in the race, won a lot of divisions, getting ready for the playoffs. Like a lot of times they knew they were going to be in the playoffs. And I want to ask him, like, what's the vibe like as far as like, let's go add and shake this thing up? Or is it like, no, man, like this is our team. These are the guys
Right.
who got in here. Because there is a little bit of that dynamic, and you'll hear it from time to time. Beat writers will get to gauge the temperature of the clubhouse. And it's like, sometimes standing pat is the answer. You got guys and there's good chemistry there. You have to be careful about what you mix in there. I'm on record as saying that 99% of the guys in the big leagues are good dudes and they'll fit in anywhere. But there is that 1% where, for instance, if you trade someone away who's a key cog in the clubhouse, maybe he's not a key player necessarily on the team, but he's a glue guy or something like that. Like that can ruffle feathers and shake up the clubhouse in the wrong way, even though you might be getting quote unquote better on the field. There's a dynamic there. So I'm curious to see what he has to say about that. I wasn't on a bunch of too many teams that were looking to add a few different years. Obviously we were, and in my experience, I'm like, let's get everybody.
Right.
Let's go. Like whatever we need to add, like I always wanted pitching. So it didn't really affect my side, but I was like, let's go get it. Didn't really ever happen though. So, there's a lot of teams. So I think, with the expanded playoffs, I'm looking at the wild card in the AL right now, and there's right now it's the Orioles, the Blue Jays, and the Astros. Those are the three wild card teams. Behind them, Red Sox 1.5, Yankees 2.5, Angels 4.5, Mariners 4.5, and then the Guardians at 5 back. Then it drops all the way down to 9.5. So you'd like to think that 4.5, 5 mark is kind of where the fringe and the buyers will lie. But these next 2 weeks are going to tell us a lot. I guess it's not even 2 weeks. It's like 10 days.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. We have one more midweek leading up to the trade deadline, which is that Tuesday that you'll actually be in town, Trev. We were mapping this out. We're going to do a little behind the scenes. We're doing something kind of kooky in the morning. And then I think we're going to run back and we're going to be live for the deadline, like we've been in past. We're going to be together, right? Like trade deadline Tuesday. Do you have family plans? We'll talk about this off air.
We'll talk about that. I got to map out the days. I do have stuff planned. I do have stuff planned for that.
Okay, deadline's a big one. We'll figure that out.
No. So no. The stuff that we have is Wednesday.
Well, we have something in the morning Tuesday. Let's do this after. The one thing I do need to tap into your brain, Trev. I've got a couple things now. This Jake and Trev app is kicking off. One, we need a better name. And Trev, we can own this forever.
Okay.
The time from the All-Star game to the trade deadline, those 2.5 weeks, we need to rebrand the whole thing. Like, it should have a name. Because these games matter more, man. If the Seattle Mariners go 6-1 in the next week, they're buying. The Mariners are coming. Watch out. Seattle Mariners go 1-6 in the next week, They're selling.
Like a moving day in a golf tournament.
It's like moving day, but we need to be able to body the 2.5 weeks. So maybe people comment below, or we'll see if we can tap into some late night Trev.
What do you got? I mean, you're usually good at calling stuff on the spot. That's crazy.
I know that's what's killing me about it, because it's hard to because it's more than a week. Like, you know, and there's always
restaurant week.
There's rivalry week. There's, you know, sports has so many things that to do the 2.5 weeks, like, and then you don't want to get corny and be like the gauntlet. Like, I don't know. I think it's got to be something like roster wise. We'll figure that out. Something you mentioned, Clubhouse. Was there ever, and I don't want you to do it in a way that you're throwing a player under the bus, but was there ever a clubhouse that you mentioned, you know, 25 guys on a roster back in your day, one guy in, one guy out, depending who those guys are, you can feel that. Like, do you have an example of maybe a time someone got called up and it felt like there was more life, or a time that maybe someone traded or left? And, like, for example, I did a Wake and Jake episode with Foolish Bailey, and, you know, the Yankees have needed corner outfielders for 2 years now. And he said he threw out, what if Tommy Pham came across town? And Tommy Pham is one of those, you know, Tommy Pham is a real personality you'd be adding to your locker room, that if the Yankees sent down my guy Oswaldo Cabrera, who's this fun-loving 23-year-old kid with necklaces and smiling, and then in comes Tommy Pham, that changes the clubhouse a lot. So I guess I'm wondering if you have an example of that.
It's just, depending on the year and the need, things are so different. In 2010, my first year in the big leagues, we had a really stacked team. We brought in some free agents that it wasn't typical, like Twins off-season moves. Like Jim Tomei came over. We added some other guys. It became like kind of like a serious thing. I think JJ Hardy came as well. It was like, okay, like we already had like the core there, like the bullpen, all those guys like Jesse Crane, Matt Guerrier, Joe Nathan, and then Mowers, the Morneaus, and the Kubels and the Kadires. Like that core was already together.
94 wins that year, huh? 2010 Twins.
First team to clinch in baseball. I mean, it was good.
Ooh.
We were rolling, but Nathan goes down in spring training. Obviously, key cog to the success there. So, you know, to counteract that, you know, it was kind of like a no-brainer for the front office, and for us as well. It was like, okay, we have the guys that can maybe step into that role, like John Roush.
Yeah,
people remember him at all. He kind of stepped in at the beginning of the year, and that's a whole different story. But when it became apparent that we needed somebody different, somebody like with more of a proven track record, because that's what this organization was used to. It was like, we didn't need someone to come in and shake things up. We needed someone to come and like stabilize and get us back to the norm. And so that was the Wilson Ramos from Matt Capps deal. And Matt Capps at the time was, a proven closer. He came in, and without that trade, we don't win the division that year. And we gave up a lot. Wilson Ramos was a really good player, went on to have a really good career. Could have used him after Joe, couldn't catch anymore. It would have been nice to have him in the organization, but that was a need that was like pretty apparent for the Twins at that time. And I think that one was so smooth and such an easy transition. Capps came in and was very well liked in the clubhouse. So it was one of those where it was just easy. It made a lot of sense. And I think sometimes that happens, but a lot of times it might not. There is that clubhouse dynamic where it's like, these are our guys. We've been through already 90 games together, or in some cases years of games together. And when you start to shake things up like that, you can be happy that we're trying to improve the team, but also the dynamic could change.
It's gonna be so interesting. I mean, Trev. The people might be able to hear it in our voice, and we're in a weird area right now where this part of baseball is so hot. I literally want to rename it to something, but we're also circling on a lot of conversations that we've done a lot. Like, if we brought up the Padres right now, it would be the same thing. Like, there's a lot of dudes in that.
Are they buyers or sellers?
Or
are they both?
or should they stay pat? These are the guys, button down the hatches, bearing down the hatches. What's that phrase? Hatching down the hatches?
The barrel?
My
Tearing down the barrel?
My skankies. These teams
blow it up.
They're going to have a real look in the mirror when that trade deadline hits, and either, hey, all these guys are here, we added a little something, we had a lot of something, or we sent something away because you guys haven't earned it. And I think that's going to be the interesting moment. After we name this 2.5 weeks, then maybe we name the first week after the deadline, like the rebirth, to see where these teams are at, because I don't know, man. You just casually mentioned that, you guys traded for Matty Caps, snagged 16 saves for the fellas. But Wilson Ramos is, major league career as a catcher that changed the outlook of the Twins the next couple years. And if you're a GM, you have to have that cap on too, because you think you're going to be in that position for 10 years.
The deadline is, you can go back years for all the stories. You can just recently with the Padres. Who have they gotten rid of? They've gotten rid of Trey Turner. They've gotten rid of Max Fried. But they also scooped in on Fernando Tatis Jr. So there's massive pieces that can be moving back and forth. They might not show for a few years. And I think some of those stories definitely they weigh on front office's minds. They don't want to be the front office that gave away that player. But at the same time, and you'll hear it from everybody, especially from the players at the big league level, they're like, it's about the show. The big leagues now. It's about winning right here. It's not about that. If you do end up making a mistake, okay, did it help us at the time that you made the deal? You have to balance those two things as a front office, because the potential backlash is daunting. But I think more and more I think front offices are trying not to let that happen. I think the prospect hugging has become a thing when I feel like the right GMs understand the risk there and they're willing to take it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's prospects are this is the easy line to say. Prospects are such high risk outside of the main guys that it feels a little ridiculous how some
even
teams
the main
hold on
guys,
to them.
man.
But even, Cardinals fans, when you started that speech, they're yelling about Randy. They're yelling about Gallen. They're yelling about
Adolis Garcia.
Sandy.
I think they just let him go.
So, I don't know. Trev, I want to talk a little, I want to talk about the biggest fish, and maybe we are clickbait media. I can't talk.
Yeah.
It's fucking so stupid that I talk for a living.
Just take that pearl necklace and just
just give it a yank. Just remind
just
myself.
a little yank, like a dog.
Trev, there is one thing I am passionate about besides Shohei Ohtani.
Oh.
It's Tommy John underwear. This is no joke, people. Tommy John is the 1-1. Top pick, top prospect, top player, two-way underwear in the biz. Yeah. I just loaded up with this. They said, they were like, Jake, we can, I think we have a relationship with Tommy John. We could probably hook it up. I said, no, I want to spend my well-earned money on
cooking the books
on TJ. And yeah, I want to keep them as a sponsor forever. So I am cooking the books. And at Tommy John, we're going to TommyJohn.com/talkin. Save 20% right now. If it's your first order, you got to punch in your email. I'll be honest, I just did the process. I just did it. I bought 4 pairs. I have the pair I like, my go-to pair. I bought another pair that's a little shorter. When there's an opportunity for me to show a little more skin, I go that route. So I got 2 of them just because I wanted to see, because I do like my main ones. But I'm going to see if these ones pass the test as well. So come join me. Send me a picture of your underwear. TommyJohn.com/talkin. 20% off your first order.
I like them as a sponsor because I feel like we can do a lot of stuff together. We've been talking about a photo shoot, you and I, for years.
We have a big event in early December that I think if we can line up the photo shoot around then, we'll be feeling good about our bodies, and that can kind of kick
give
off.
me some time, yeah. Okay.
That can kick off their spring campaign, maybe. So yeah, Trev, this one has been spinning through my little noggin as I watch my Yankees continue to torture themselves. Shohei Ohtani hits a game-tying 2-run homer. That fastball middle away, you see that guy get his arms extended when the ball hits the barrel. There's very little doubt. He is a big man, and the ball jumps off of his bat differently. Mm-hmm. Trev, he gave a big boy bat flip. He hit a spinner. He really, look at that flick of that wrist. And Jimmy, John Boy, people may know him, he took it as like, hey, Angels fans, you're not trading me. I'm putting the team on my back. Let's do this. Let's go. I took it a little differently. With trade season coming up, with his free agency coming up, and I think, the Yankees do get a little more eyeballs. I think there was a little show to it that was for the league, that was for the, hey, if these suckers do trade me, you're welcome. When I do hit free agency, do not be scared when I ask for that first digit that starts with a 7, land in the 6. But, I am that guy. And during the 7th inning of that Angels game, you know what sponsor was around the stadium? It was the #1 cat food of Japan. So, yeah, you're going to be getting those dollars as well. So, am I reading too far into this, Trev, or did you get any of the same notes?
I love that you mentioned the Japanese advertisements they're all over the stadium in Anaheim. And that's what he brings. I mean, he's a massive deal everywhere, but especially in Japan. We've talked about this before. I believe, well, obviously he's had 2 incredible years in a row. One, he wins the MVP. The other one, he should have won the MVP and didn't. Aaron Judge, I love you. 62 home runs. Great. Awesome. I think the WBC brought out a little bit of the Shohei, I'm missing the word here, Alphaism. That's not a word, I don't think, but
No.
You know what I'm saying. At the end of the WBC, to win the gold medal, to put Japan on top of the baseball world, what did he do? He struck out the alpha. And you saw his reaction after that. This is his teammate. There's a lot of love there. But you just said you're a competitor. I have you and Shohei very close in your competitive nature. Shohei wants to be the guy. He believes he is the guy. And when you do that too, the best player in baseball, Mike Trout, who's been that for a decade, but now you've entered the conversation. You won the MVP. You have an MVP too, like I just said, and you strike him out on the biggest stage. I mean, that people don't forget how big the WBC was this year. It was massive. Everybody was watching it. Everyone was paying attention to it. Striking Mike Trout out to end it, I think that opened a little something up in Shohei, man. Like maybe a little bit of the FU. I'm the man, villain-ish type mentality came out because we had that bat flip against the Yankees was great, but we've seen him do it throughout the year. Like he hits balls and looks disgusted.
We've seen him perform. We haven't seen that. That was showmanship. We've seen him growl off the mound.
There's been a few bat flips. There's been a few bat flips this year.
We've seen him growl off the mound. We've seen him toss a couple bats, but that was bat flipping with the boys. That was showmanship, and
You think he was saying, "Wow, you should have walked me"?
Could have been. Could have been, because they did walk him the previous at bat, and we just talked to manager Aaron Boone, and they intentionally walked him the previous at bat, but it never crossed their minds
Okay. Hold on.
to walk him the second at bat.
Don't want to open up old wounds here.
So it could have been that. I don't know.
What do you think is going on? Because, like I said, I really believe that WBC moment was pivotal in like a mental way for him. I really do. I think that was the first time we saw that was a different emotion after he struck Mike Trout out and got them the gold medal.
That was his dream. That was his original dream, going back to the old story with his coach and everything like that. That you're right. That could have definitely unlocked something. And we're seeing it in his performance this year, which is just gadzooks, for lack of a better term. But I don't know. And this is pure opinion.
What's gadzooks?
Gadzooks.
That's not a thing, bro.
I think that comes up if you Google it. I wouldn't say it's a word. Oh. What does gadzooks mean?
Never heard that in my life.
You've never heard
An expression of surprise or shock.
I'm such a fucking disaster. And this is Talking Life with the boys. I don't know, man. I think there was the Tiger's out of the cage a little bit, but I think he also wants everyone to know, if you're questioning the 500, 600 million, I think he's going to let everyone know the rest of the way, no, you're not getting Babe Ruth. You're getting fucking better than Babe Ruth. Because that's the point now that Michael Kay keeps driving home on the Yankees broadcast, is he's like, Ruth didn't do this at the same time. Ruth pitched, and then he hit a little bit, and then he hit it a lot of bit, and then he pitched a little bit. He didn't do this. And Shohei is. And he can tap into a whole nother market across the world. I think him and your boy Nez are coming. I think they're on a mission together to take down baseball.
I mean, yeah, I've told you what I think it's going to take to get him. I think the contract is going to have to be special. It's not just going to be about dollars here, because everyone's going to offer him dollars. All right, look, we'll talk Shohei for a little bit more, because he is, first of all, Artie Moreno, Angels owner, has said he's not going to be available. And this is where I land. I get the potential package, what it would be. I'm not sure what it would be, actually. I know what they want. They want several top 100 prospects.
It's messy, man. Over. It's messy.
But at the same time, if you have a guy, and let's remember, he's on pace or around the pace to break the home run record, a single season home run record in the AL, you'd kind of want that to go on this season for your squad, especially if you're out of it. You want to sell tickets, keep Shohei. Hey, Shohei's last few games in Anaheim, that's going to sell tickets. Is chasing 60. What did Aaron Judge hit 62 last year? He did, right?
62.
Chasing 62. That sells tickets. You're going to get a draft pick for him if you do that, and that's it. And maybe a leg up in negotiations if you keep him and you just start that. I guess that's a plus. Although I don't know if a lot of people have him coming back. But that's not. We talk about all these scenarios. He could come back to Anaheim,
right?
If they offered him the right thing.
They're the one team that knows the actual numbers. When this is a CBA pod and we talk about the mystery of it, they know how much Shohei's bringing in when you factor in ad dollars and things. The other teams are guessing and assuming what Shohei's going to bring in. They might know in that equation of baseball that we haven't, hey, Shohei is worth $700 million. Maybe he is, and maybe the Angels know that, and maybe they're willing to go there. And maybe Shohei does like it there, and maybe his bat flip was, I'm going to put this team in this city on my back. Maybe. maybe not 2.
Maybe he just really loves Disneyland. That would be awesome.
Ooh,
we
you
found
think
out
he's
that
a
he was like a
big-
Disney guy. Yeah.
He's going.
I ain't leaving.
Disney adult Shohei.
I've got a.
You think I'm going to leave Disneyland? You got another thing coming.
If I get traded, it better be to the Marlins so I can still. I've got a funny Disneyland
Tampa.
story for you. It's rated R. Maybe I'll end the episode with it. Me, a lonely businessman. Anyways, you think Shohei gets traded? I still don't.
The owner's been pretty adamant about not trading him. Do I think he should be traded? I think probably.
Yeah, Chris.
I don't know, man.
I don't
It
know.
all comes back
dude.
to if you think you could re-sign him. If they still believe there's a glimmer of hope to re-sign him, then don't trade him. If you know for sure like it ain't gonna happen, like if Artie Moreno's like I'm not gonna shell out $650.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
That's true.
let's go restock. Ken Rosenthal's latest article, shout out Ken, Short King. He talks about the Orioles. And I think that'll be a fun footnote in the history of Shohei Ohtani. It's like, we know about the Angels years, him and Mike Trout couldn't get it done. And then wherever he goes is going to be big, and they're going to try, that's going to be like the team that probably he gets remembered for. I mean, I guess the Angels too, but there's going to be a team possibly in between. They were like, what? He played for the who?
You got 55 games with who?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's gonna be
Especially if it's the Orioles. No offense to the Orioles. I think they're in a great position and they have a ton of prospects. And they, as Ken lays out in this article, go check it out. It's on The Athletic. They have the prospect capital to get it done. And they're in essentially a tie for the AL East. Like this is a very good ball club here. And Shohei will obviously make them a ton better.
Get a pitcher and
That
a
will be
hitter.
interesting.
You get a pitcher and a hitter.
Get 2 dudes.
Man, you mentioned our guy Kenny, Short King. He's got an article. Passon, Short King.
Shout out Passon.
He just did his Ohtani. There's going to be so much Ohtani in these next couple weeks, that we're about to rename. I keep saying a couple weeks. Oh, it is. It's still 2.
Hey.
Yeah.
Are we sending good vibes to old Jeffrey?
We are. Jeff got fucked up by a tree, so we're, there's always jokes to make with brother Jeff, but Jeff got rocked by a tree and like messed up his vertebrae and shit. So he's good, but like Jeff,
that could have gone.
Chill, bro.
What's he doing?
Maybe no more trees.
Jeff, you're a king, bro.
Trev, show. You know what Jeff Passon should be chopping down trees with? His wallet. Like,
Ooh.
We don't need Jeff getting out there with you're not that guy, pal. You know?
Yeah, clearly. No, seriously though, that's scary, man.
Oh yeah, dude. He's
Hope you're all right.
he texted us and we were like, he's like, yeah, I really, really got messed up. And when Jeff texts me or Jim, he's normally in a pretty silly baseball mode, and we're like, oh, wait, you're like actually...
You're actually just like letting us know you're okay.
You got jacked up, dude. So we'll get brother Jeff better for the postseason. You're about to see a lot of Ohtani people, and you're about to see a lot of Shady Rays. Shady Rays. We have like a Mammo announcement coming soon with Shady Rays.
Say it now.
I wish I could. My hands are tied. What I can tell you, so for now, you're just going to have to suffer with their 50% off 2+ pairs of premium polarized shades. How do you like half off? Couple pairs of sunnies. We're in the middle of summer. You're wearing your sunglasses. I wear my Shady Rays every day. You should wear yours too. Get them as a gift for someone. Imagine that. Next time you see your buddy, you're like, hey, here you go. Here's a pair of fresh shades. Like, what?
That's sick.
Right?
I would love if someone did that for me.
Let's start getting guys.
Nobody gives me
gifting
anything anymore. I'm always giving people stuff.
I never receive gifts. Shady Rays, the gift that keeps on giving. Code Talkin at shadyrays.com. 50% off 2+ pairs of premium polarized shades. Get yourself a couple pairs. Man, Trev, I keep circling in that GM mindset. I can't shake it. Because the other half of this, is that a second mic? Is that a second microphone?
I was waiting for you to notice that.
If you're the GM that's got to trade away Shohei, man, you better get some fucking studs back, dude. And going back to the clubhouse morale, I don't want to say I got too much dog in me. You know I do. But the different emotions between going down to that clubhouse and being like, hey, we just traded away, the player you'll only see once in your lifetime. Or like, if the Halos added Marcus Stroman and they were like, hey, we're here, boys. I just brought you one of the best pitchers of the National League. He's got some attitude to him, too. Let's fucking run hard and shock the world. Like, that energy, it might be an awful move GM-wise, but to feel the energy in that room, I'd be about that.
Deplete your farm system.
Yes.
For a 10% chance.
To make the playoffs.
To lose Shohei. That's not happening. I don't know. I can't talk about Shohei anymore because we don't know what's going to happen. And I feel like, Angels fans I feel bad for them. They're dealing with this. They've seen 6 years now essentially go to waste, and the whole baseball world's talking about Shohei and how he's going to leave. And it's tough for them, man. I mean, look, you Yankee fans are so spoiled, dude.
Yeah.
If this was your organization, you guys might all be dead.
Burn Stadium wouldn't be standing.
It'd be crazy. So I do feel for them. But again, it's such an interesting time in baseball. We talk about like a team like the Cardinals. They have a bunch of impending free agents. What are they going to do? They have some other guys they said are kind of untradeable that they don't want to do because they don't want to have a full rebuild. I think a lot of the stuff that's out there right now is just straight up fodder. It's negotiation tactics already. If you say someone's not available,
right,
guess what that does to the price? It drives it up. So, be careful to what you listen to now with beat reporters and writers. They're getting their info from people that want to give them info. Now, that sometimes that's accurate stuff and they're just being friendly, but a lot of times that's strategic. So until things go down, I mean, make sure that if you're a fan of the game, you can talk about it. It's fun. I think people really like the, trying to map out what's going to happen. But a lot of the reports, as we've seen over, the last 5 years in baseball, a lot of the reports that come out are just BS.
Right.
So.
Right. There's whether it's agent smoke, whether it's smoke from the teams. I know that's why Jimmy did get excited that what's his name? Mozeliak, the GM of the Cardinals, came out and said, we will be trading. Because you don't get that a lot. Like a lot of GMs would do I'm going to give this team every chance and let's see where we're at the deadline. Like, no, he basically came out with it's over, which, by the way, I don't disagree with him. But we still don't know to what degree. And we debated doing a full episode on just trading the Cardinals. And the other part that gets tricky to it, man, is because, we're our guy Jack Flaherty, Jordan Montgomery. They've always had extra outfielders. Like, I don't think they can, a team that was thin at starting pitcher, I don't think they can just trade away all their starting pitchers because now you're going to struggle to get even through the final 2 months of the season.
No, they're going to trade those guys. They are. And what they keep saying in St. Louis is we want to trade pitching for pitching. We want to trade these guys,
right,
these rentals for controllable starters. Doesn't happen, dude.
Yeah, right.
Like a team that's coming after a starter needs starters. And controllable starters are like the lifeblood of an organization. So I don't understand the thought process there. Maybe they'll make me look stupid, but trading away a guy that has 4 years, 5 years of control for a Flaherty or a Montgomery who's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, the sense of urgency I can understand if you think one of those guys can put you over the top, then yeah, you might have to give something up. But I don't think either of those guys has warranted that necessarily.
Fucking
Not many guys
Cardinals.
do. Like, we just talked about one of the guys that would warrant that, and that's Shohei Ohtani. But unless you're flush with starters, but even then, again, it doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't add up.
You wouldn't trade that for a rental starter.
Yeah.
Trev, one of my final thoughts before we get into talking life is a team you just mentioned as like a funny team for Shohei to go to, the Orioles. They're the team I keep circling back on. They're
not a funny team, bro. Don't.
No.
It'd be funny to see him in that. It would be funny to see him in an Orioles uniform. I guess it would be.
Why is that? Just
I don't know.
That orange and black on Shohei? I guess that's.
I think he would look really good in it, and I actually really enjoy their uniforms. I do.
He looks good in anything.
But I've never thought about him there. You think about him, I guess, are they on the coast? They're kind of on the coast.
On the coast.
By some water.
They are my They're my kingpin of the deadline. They have all that young talent. And I just don't know. I don't know if they need to put chips in because they could pass the Tampa Bay Rays at any week for the best record in baseball. It would just... I believe in momentum in sports, and they have all the momentum, and I feel like if they add a little bit, not compromising their future, they're the team for me that controls everything because they have all the young talent. They're already, they're playing above the skis that we expected. It's not what they expected. That I think you have to build on that. You have to build on that.
They're in a great position. The payroll's nothing. They do have a lot of prospects. Some have graduated to the big leagues this year. Some still in the wings. It's going to be interesting how aggressive they're going to be because, for them, they're only looking at like impact players, I'd assume, because you don't want to mess up that. I mean, they have a core and a future and a window now that you don't want to just disrupt at the beginning of your window, right? Like you don't want to open the window up this much and then just close it again. Like you want to make sure like you're in the right time of this quote unquote window. So I think they're going to be aggressive, but only for like high end difference making talent. I'd assume, unless it's the exact opposite, and they're like, we just need to improve on the margins and not give up our guys.
Right.
So maybe they are interesting. It's being a GM's got to be pretty difficult at this time for a team like the Orioles where you're just entering that window.
It's mental warfare, man. I have no... You can spin your circles on that all day, and I think that's where you and I are at mentally with this part of the year is, God, we're gonna, a week from today, we're gonna be talking about this team, now you have to sell. This team, now you have to buy. And it's the team that's a beautiful example of hope is the 21 Braves, who were under and around 500. They had a strong week. They traded for all those kind of outfielders that were having bad years. I think it was Duvall, Rosario, Jock, and there's one more too. Soler. My God. Peter Moylan, who was involved with the pre and post at that time and pretty, he's in the organization. He said if they had a losing week that week, they were selling. Instead, they got 4 rental outfielders. They won the fucking World Series. So that's the optimistic dream. There's also scary sides to that too, including when the Cubs traded away a lot of guys people thought would be lifetime Cubs. Life talk?
Where you want to go?
Well, I think you did something nice for your wife Olivia that you do sometimes when you travel. Do you want to tell the young guys about that? No.
No, just take care of your significant other. Treat her,
Yeah.
as best you can. I did. I went shopping for Olivia. We're in Seattle, man. It's the home of the original Nordstroms. You know that?
I didn't know that. That
So
makes
it's a
sense, though.
I've had a great time here. The downtown area is great to walk around. I believe like the demise of the city is highly exaggerated because I've had a nice time down here. I know that every city has some issues.
Chris Rose was scared.
He's soft. A great time here. No, I mean, look, life is something for me right now. The calling these games has really opened my eyes to a different side of things. I'm really enjoying it. I don't love the travel, but everything else has been pretty cool. It's been, I think, it's been recepted pretty well by Twins fans. I'm having a good time with Morney and Dick in the booth. I don't know, man. I'm finding my way in it, I guess.
I know that the people are enjoying you, Trev. They're enjoying some Trevor Plouffe in the booth. So I'll when we got to go to the negotiating table with Bally's North, I'm coming with you. I'll be your muscle.
I don't think I need it.
Okay.
I don't think I need it.
Well, I'll tell the people to get ready for baseball today with you and Justin Morneau, MVP, home run derby champion. Whoops. Stole that MVP from Jeter. Trev, I'll see you Friday. Next week, I think, is going to be our big trade deadline. Need, wants, buy, sell. It's going to be our last time to really hit that before the next week will be the actual deadline.
We'll be talking about moves that happened.
All right, but wait, hold on. Are you trying to? I want to do one thing.
Okay.
You did 2 weeks for the trade or after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Do the trade deadline. You want to name it something.
Yes.
So I think that we just throw one out there.
Okay.
I haven't even really thought about this.
Okay.
I just nailed my microphone. I haven't even thought about this, but I want to just do it. See if something sticks.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 5 seconds, and I'll point to you, and you say it. Then you're going to give me 5 seconds and point to me, and I'll say it.
So I've got something. I don't think this is the answer, but it's kind of the sports headspace of what the importance of this area. Like, my brain just jumped to the 2-minute drill. Like, if you're a football fan, in those final 2 minutes, it's like score or bust. And if you have a good quarterback, that's go time and you score. That's not the answer, but that's kind of the mindset I'm in. Like, we got to go, boys. We got to run it. 5.
I don't have anything. I thought
4,
I was going to have
3, 2, 1. There's got to be something. How are we not missing that? How are we missing this?
It's like the go. I want to do something with maybe like military terms. I keep thinking like a Top Gun, like
You're always
time is
thinking
now,
Top Gun.
like it's now or never, like that whole aspect of it.
That's so corny.
Moving day is the golf term, so it's
Right.
something along those lines. Maybe we got to think about it a little more. Leave it in the comments. Our community will come up with
Someone
something
will
great.
leave a good
Is there
comment.
something good with like if you play well, you're about to get rid of some of the kids? It's like
Oh my god.
I didn't want to say it like that. You're also bringing in veterans ideally.
Proven commodities.
I don't know.
Well, by next week we better have some.
The comment section is going to have us. I believe in our people. We'll give that person credit because I think where we're currently at, we could make something stick in baseball history. And I think that's where you and I are a little disappointed that we don't have it. But late night, we should
Gauntlet sucks, bro.
Gauntlet stinks. I know that. So 2-minute drill almost doesn't make sense. So it's pathetic that we're not even close to it. But maybe late night tonight, we send some text and figure this thing out.
Don't you dare ever text me again without the hidden text.
Yeah, that's a little behind the scenes. Me and Trev are mostly hidden texters. The little thing you have to erase to read.
Just because it's like a present.
Yeah, it's like
You don't know what it's going to be until you open it.
just like those damn Shady Rays. Yeah, no, it's a great point, Trev. I often don't know if it's gonna be a fuck you or an I love you, and that's the real treat of it all. Hey everyone, thank you. Our guy Jimmy, YouTube only, posted he went deep dive Jimmer on some possible trades and previous year trades, and go check out that video. We'll see you recap mode Friday. Maybe we get the first trade.
I'm waiting.
Rockies.
Feels like we
Jolly
should get
Olive
the first real one.
Put it out there that it was going to happen. Didn't happen, Jolly.
Wow.
I'm the predictor here.
She sucks.
Trade Gritchick and Profar. Call up Cole Tucker.
It's obvious.
Saw AJ Pollock yesterday.
Oh.
He was nice. He was very complimentary of my moves out there. He's like, man, typically guys in suits with a glove, not cool, but you made it look good.
He didn't say any of that.
Along those lines.